Hi there. It's just an ordinary evening, and you're walking through a quiet park, lost in your own thoughts. But suddenly, everything changes in a single moment. That's exactly what happened to our heroine. She arranged a simple walk, thinking it was just a casual meeting. But within minutes, he appears, a stranger with a mysterious look, and the air suddenly becomes charged with tension. But before you get comfortable, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is right now. I love seeing who's joining us and from where. Now, get cozy. We're starting. Emily stood by the kitchen window, sunlight streaming in, highlighting the golden waves of her hair that tumbled down just past her shoulders. She wore a light blue sundress, the fabric falling softly against her slender waist and curving gently over her hips. The straps revealed just enough of her smooth skin and the delicate lace of her white bra. Her figure was athletic yet feminine. Her breasts, about a B cup, sat high and firm. Her waist was neat, her hips and thighs shapely, and her bottom round and fit, a result of regular morning yoga. Jason, her husband, entered the kitchen with a travel mug in hand. He was tall, with broad shoulders and a naturally tanned complexion. His hair was kept short, and his eyes were an honest blue, sometimes stormy with thought. Today, he wore fitted jeans and a crisp white t-shirt that outlined his chest and arms. His athletic build, honed by evening runs, always caught Emily's gaze, even after 3 years of marriage. Their life together was full of playful banter and light touches. But in recent months, Jason's job had kept him away for days at a time. Emily had grown used to spending evenings alone, listening to the city sounds outside their cozy apartment. Still, they tried to make every morning together count. "Are you sure you'll be okay while I'm gone?" Jason asked, his voice gentle as he set his coffee down and stepped closer. He slid his hands around Emily's waist, fingers brushing the hem of her dress. "I'm not made of glass." Emily smiled up at him, her lips soft and pink. "Just hurry back." Jason lowered his lips to hers, and for a moment the world shrank to just the two of them. Their kiss deepened, Jason's hands tracing her waist and down to her hips, pulling her closer. Emily leaned into him, feeling the warmth of his body through the thin dress. His fingers found the delicate lace beneath, sliding slowly along her back as their breaths mingled, quickening with anticipation. He lifted her gently onto the kitchen counter, her legs parting slightly, the dress riding up to reveal the smooth skin of her thighs. Emily's cheeks flushed, her heart racing as Jason's lips traveled down her neck, igniting a trail of tingling sensation. For a few stolen minutes, nothing else mattered but the closeness and the silent promises exchanged between them. Later, after Jason's suitcase was zipped and by the door, Emily saw him off with a long hug. He pressed a kiss to her forehead, his eyes searching hers as if memorizing every detail. "I'll call you tonight," he promised. After the door clicked shut, the apartment felt just a little too quiet. Emily lingered by the window, watching his car disappear down the street. Feeling the first pang of longing mixed with a flutter of uncertainty, she poured herself a cup of coffee and glanced at her phone. A message from her friend Jennifer blinked on the screen. "Hey girls' night this week?" Emily smiled to herself, fingers poised to reply. Maybe it was time to let the city nights distract her again, at least until Jason's return. The week stretched ahead of Emily, both familiar and strangely electric in its possibilities. With Jason gone, time seemed to slow down. Emily poured herself into work at the small but stylish marketing agency downtown, where she handled creative projects alongside her best friend Jennifer. Jennifer was hard to miss. A tall brunette with olive skin, glossy curls, and a sense of humor that drew everyone in. Her outfit today, a fitted red blouse tucked into a high-waisted black skirt, showcased her hourglass shape and long-toned leg. Underneath, Emily knew Jennifer favored matching sets of dark lace lingerie, usually in bold colors, her confidence shining through every detail. The office air buzzed with the hum of computers and clacking heels. As Emily typed out emails, she caught glimpses of herself in her screen. Her pale blue blouse, tucked into slim white trousers, was light and summery, and beneath it she wore a pale pink bralette with soft mesh and tiny bows. Her reflection showed her slim figure, petite waist, and the gentle curve of her hips, which always drew compliments. She wore her favorite sneakers, but even these seemed to highlight her lean calves. Around lunchtime, Emily's phone vibrated. The message was unexpected, an unknown number. "You looked beautiful this morning." Emily blinked in surprise. Her heart gave a curious flutter. She scanned the office. No one seemed to be watching her. Jennifer was laughing at something by the coffee machine. Their boss was in his glass-walled office, and the usual buzz filled the air. "Who is this?" she typed back, feeling a rush of nervous excitement. "Someone who appreciates your smile. Let's meet soon." Emily bit her lip, unsure if she should feel flattered or concerned. For a moment she considered telling Jennifer, but then the thrill of secrecy won out. She stashed her phone and tried to focus, but the rest of the day was a blur. Even as she walked home, the message replayed in her mind. That evening, Jennifer invited Emily out for dinner. They picked a cozy Italian restaurant just down the street from Emily's apartment. Jennifer, in a fitted green dress that hugged her curves, looked radiant and confident. Emily wore a soft cream blouse and a pleated navy skirt, paired with a lacy white bra and matching panties. She liked the way they made her feel put together, even beneath her clothes. As they ate, Jennifer chatted about her weekend plans, but Emily's thoughts drifted, distracted by the earlier message and the way it made her skin tingle with anticipation. Later, walking back home in the evening air, Emily's phone buzzed again. This time, the message was clear. "I'll be at the gym tomorrow evening. Maybe I'll finally introduce myself." Her mind whirled. The gym was a familiar place, her usual routine. Was it someone she'd seen there before? Emily pictured the regulars. One stood out in her memory. Tall, with broad shoulders and thick dark hair, always focused during his workouts, occasionally glancing her way with an easy, confident smile. His name, she recalled from overheard introductions, was Alex. That night, Emily lay awake longer than usual, imagining what might happen if she let herself follow this intrigue. She pictured Alex, his strong arms, the way his black workout shirt clung to his chest, the hint of tattoos along his forearms, and the almost shy but direct way he sometimes caught her gaze. She wondered what kind of underwear he'd notice if she wore her favorite lacy black set, the one with the scalloped edges and tiny silver charm. The next day passed in a haze of anticipation. When evening came, Emily changed into her favorite gym set, a snug lilac sports bra that accentuated her shape, high-waisted leggings hugging her hips, and bottom just right. Over that, she wore a loose grey hoodie, but she liked the feeling of her toned stomach and firm curves beneath. Her hair was pulled back into a high ponytail, a few loose strands framing her face. At the gym, the usual crowd was there. Jennifer was on a treadmill nearby, waving with a knowing smile. Alex was at the free weights, a navy tank top showcasing his muscular build and strong back. His hair was tousled, his jawline sharp. Emily felt his gaze flicker to her as she passed by, their eyes meeting for a second that felt much longer. After her warm-up, Emily moved to the stretching area. Alex approached, his presence suddenly close. "Hey, you're Emily, right?" His voice was deep but warm, his eyes dark and intent. She smiled a little nervously. "That's me. I've seen you here a few times. Thought I'd finally say hello." They exchanged a few words, casual at first, but the air between them was charged. Alex's compliments were simple, almost innocent, but his eyes lingered on her lips and the soft line of her waist. Emily found herself laughing easily, drawn in by his charisma. As their conversation grew more playful, Alex leaned in, lowering his voice. "You have a beautiful smile, Emily." His hand brushed her arm, a gentle, almost accidental touch that sent a thrill through her. Emily's heart raced, her cheeks warm, the closeness between them both exciting and terrifying. For a moment, their bodies were only inches apart. She could feel the heat from his skin, the strength of his presence. The gym around them seemed to fade away, and for a split second, Emily wondered what might happen if she let herself give in to the temptation. She broke the moment with a laugh, stepping back. "I should finish my workout," she said softly. "Maybe I'll see you after," Alex replied, his smile lingering. Back home, Emily tried to settle her nerves. She replayed every word, every glance, her imagination swirling with the possibilities of what tomorrow might bring. She sent a message to Jennifer. "Tonight was interesting, more soon." As Emily slipped into bed, wearing her softest white cotton nightgown, she couldn't shake the sense that her quiet week had turned into something far more intriguing, and that tomorrow might bring even more surprises. Emily woke up the next morning with a strange sense of anticipation. The sunlight slipped through her curtains, painting gentle gold across her bare legs and the soft white cotton of her nightgown. She glanced at her phone. No new messages from Jason, but a simple good morning from the unknown number, though she was quite sure after yesterday it was Alex. Her day unfolded slowly. At the agency, Emily was distracted, her mind replaying every moment from last night at the gym. Jennifer, sensing Emily's preoccupation, flashed her a sly grin over her coffee. "You seem different today. A secret admirer, maybe?" she teased. Emily just shrugged, a slight blush coloring her cheeks. She wore a flowy pastel pink blouse tucked into a short cream skirt, the fabric soft and airy against her skin. Underneath, a matching set of pale lilac lingerie hugged her curves. A demi-cup bra that gave her bee-sized breasts a gentle lift, and delicate lace panties that traced the shape of her hips and bottom. She felt feminine, a little bolder than usual. That afternoon, Emily got another message from Alex. "Can I see you tonight? Just a walk, nothing more, unless you want." Emily hesitated only a moment before replying. "Meet me at the park, by the river. 7 o'clock. The hours until evening crawled by. She changed clothes several times before settling on a casual but flattering outfit. fitted blue jeans that hugged her hips and legs, a white ribbed tank top beneath a light beige cardigan, and her favorite black ballet flats. Her hair, clean and shiny, fell in soft waves, and her makeup was simple but highlighted her blue eyes. She arrived at the park a little early, her heart pounding in her chest. The air was warm and scented with summer flowers. Emily perched on a bench beneath a willow tree, smoothing her hair and trying to calm her nerves. Alex found her easily, striding toward her with easy confidence. He wore dark jeans and a charcoal t-shirt that clung to his broad shoulders and muscular arms. His hair was slightly messy, his jawline shadowed with a day's stubble. Up close, his deep brown eyes studied her face intently. "Hi," he said, his voice gentle but rich with meaning. They walked together along the riverside path, talking quietly. Alex asked about her job, her hobbies, her dreams. He listened intently, occasionally glancing down at her lips or the curve of her jaw. Emily found herself smiling, laughing, letting go of her nerves. As the sky darkened, they sat on a quiet bench tucked away behind a hedge of flowering bushes. The world felt distant, just the two of them in a pocket of golden dusk. Alex turned toward Emily, his hand moving slowly to rest on her knee. His touch was warm and steady, and when she didn't pull away, he leaned closer. "Emily," he murmured, "I haven't been able to stop thinking about you." His hand slid up, fingertips tracing the seam of her jeans along her thigh. The touch delicate, almost teasing. Emily's breath hitched, her lips parting as Alex's mouth found hers. Soft, searching at first, then deeper. His fingers sliding under the edge of her cardigan to brush the side of her waist. Their kiss was hungry but restrained, both of them aware of where they were, the pulse of excitement coursing between them. Emily's hands found Alex's shoulders, feeling the strength beneath his t-shirt. She melted into the kiss, feeling heat bloom across her skin. For a moment, the rest of the world faded away. The flowers, the distant laughter, the river flowing quietly behind them. They broke apart, both a little breathless, Alex's gaze intense. "Should we go somewhere more private?" he whispered, his voice rough around the edges. Emily nodded, barely trusting herself to speak. They walked in silence to Alex's car parked just out of sight. He drove them to his apartment, a sleek, modern space with floor-to-ceiling windows and soft light. Inside, Emily paused by the window, heart racing. Alex stood behind her, hands settling on her hips. He pressed a kiss to her shoulder, then slowly, reverently, began to undress her, pulling the cardigan from her shoulders, lifting her tank top to reveal the delicate lilac bra beneath. Alex's hands moved over Emily's bare skin, fingers tracing the line of her back and the gentle curve of her waist. He unbuttoned her jeans, sliding them down to reveal the soft lace of her panties. Emily's pulse thundered in her ears, a shiver running through her as Alex's lips followed the path of his hands, kissing the smooth skin of her stomach, her hips, the inside of her thighs. Every touch was slow and careful, building tension that made her gasp and arch against him. She wrapped her arms around his neck, feeling the strength of his body as he lifted her, carried her to the couch, and settled her gently onto the cushions. Their bodies pressed close, the fabric of his t-shirt and jeans a delicious contrast to her nearly bare skin. His kisses were everywhere. Her collarbone, her jaw, her lips, each one leaving her trembling with anticipation. Time seemed to blur, each sensation brighter and more intense than the last. Emily's nerves, her guilt, her excitement, all tangled together in a rush of feelings she had never known before. She lost herself in Alex's arms, letting desire and curiosity take over. Afterward, Emily lay with her head on Alex's chest, the city lights flickering outside. She felt strangely peaceful. And yet, when she glanced at the clock, shock set in. She had missed 2 calls from Jason. Her heart squeezed tight, a mix of exhilaration and guilt flooding her all at once. Alex ran his fingers gently through her hair. "You're okay?" he asked softly. Emily nodded, but deep inside, she knew her world had just shifted, and there would be no turning back. The following morning, Emily awoke in Alex's apartment. Early light washed across the city, casting patterns on the walls and soft shadows over her bare shoulder. She lay in a tangle of soft sheets, still wearing her lilac panties and bra, her blouse and jeans folded neatly on a chair beside the bed. Alex was asleep next to her, his hand resting lightly on her waist, his chest rising and falling with deep, steady breaths. Emily studied his face, feeling a strange comfort in his presence. But her mind was restless. The memory of their night replayed in vivid flashes, the touch of his hands, the heat of his kisses, the freedom and danger all at once. She slipped quietly from the bed, gathering her clothes and pulling on her jeans and blouse, heart racing as she tiptoed into the bathroom. Looking at her reflection in the mirror, Emily paused. Her lips were swollen, cheeks flushed, eyes bright with something new. Guilt, desire, maybe a little fear. She brushed her hair, adjusted her clothes, and left a silent note for Alex on the kitchen counter before letting herself out. Outside, the world felt louder, almost glaring in its normalcy. Emily walked quickly, the morning breeze cool against her skin. As she rounded the corner near her apartment, her phone buzzed again. The message was simple, but it sent a shiver down her spine. "Had a wonderful night. See you soon?" Emily smiled at the words, but the flutter in her stomach was not just excitement. There was something else. She hurried inside, showered, and changed into a soft grey dress, choosing light beige lace underwear, the bra gently shaping her figure and the panties smooth and seamless under the dress. She picked pale pink flats, wanting to feel pretty, but not draw too much attention. At work, Emily tried to focus, but her thoughts kept drifting. Jennifer noticed. "You're glowing today," she teased, leaning on Emily's desk in a slim black dress that hugged her curves, her dark hair loose around her shoulders. Emily laughed it off, but her smile faded when she opened her purse and found something she did not recognize. A small silver key on a chain. She stared at it, confused. It was not hers. She had not seen it before. She racked her brain. Had Alex slipped it into her bag? Or was it from someone else? She texted Alex, "Did you leave a key in my purse?" A minute later, he replied, "No, not mine. Maybe Jennifer's?" Emily shook her head. No. Jennifer's keys were bright pink and impossible to miss. For the rest of the day, the mystery nagged at her. The key was cool and unfamiliar in her palm, its presence inexplicable. Was it a mistake or something more? That evening, Emily met Jennifer for drinks at a rooftop bar. The city glowed beneath them, street lights and car headlights glittering like stars. Jennifer, in a crimson blouse and tight black pants, looked striking, her C-cup breasts and curvy figure impossible to miss. She wore sheer black lingerie beneath. Emily caught a flash of the lace when Jennifer adjusted her blouse, a reminder of how confident and bold her friend could be. Emily, in her grey dress and light makeup, felt more reserved, but no less attractive. She toyed with the key in her purse, debating whether to bring it up. "Something's on your mind," Jennifer said, sipping her cocktail. "Is it your mystery man?" Emily hesitated. "Kind of. I found this key in my bag today, and I have no idea where it came from." Jennifer frowned, reaching for it. "Maybe it's a sign you should have an adventure," she joked. But her eyes lingered on the silver chain. "Or maybe someone wants you to find something." The conversation drifted. They laughed and shared stories, but Emily's mind wandered back to the key and the question it raised. After saying goodbye to Jennifer, she walked home alone, the city's pulse beneath her feet. At her apartment door, Emily paused, pulling out the key. She glanced up and down the hall, suddenly conscious of how quiet everything was. On a whim, she tried the key in the spare mailbox on the ground floor, the one that belonged to a neighbor who had recently moved out. To her shock, it fit perfectly. Inside the mailbox, Emily found a small envelope with her name written in careful script. Hands trembling, she opened it. Inside was a folded note. "Secrets can be thrilling. Sometimes what we hide is what sets us free. A friend." Emily stared at the message, heart pounding. Who had left this? Was it a game? A warning? Or just a new twist in a week already full of surprises? That night, her dreams were full of shifting shadows and soft hands. In one, Alex appears at her door, pulling her into a dark room where he kissed her neck, his hands sliding over her body, igniting a familiar ache. In another, she was lost in a maze, voices calling her name, laughter echoing all around. She woke with her sheets tangled, her skin flushed, the memory of dream kisses lingering on her lips. Emily lay in bed, breathing hard, a strange thrill running through her. The sense of being watched, desired, pursued. It was both unsettling and intoxicating. She let her hands trace her own curves, reliving the tenderness and tension of the night before, imagining Alex's touch, the way his hands moved across her skin, careful but hungry. For a moment, she let herself get lost in the sensation, breath coming faster, her body tingling with anticipation and longing. Emily forced herself to get up, the mysterious key and note never far from her thoughts. She dressed with extra care that morning. A soft teal blouse, fitted black skirt, and pale peach lingerie with delicate embroidery that hugged her form. She walked out into the day feeling like every step was a clue, every glance a hidden message. All day, she looked for signs, for hidden meanings, but nothing obvious appeared. In the elevator, a stranger smiled at her. In the cafe, someone left a flower at her table, but no note. Was it just coincidence? Or part of something larger? That evening, she received a call from Jason. His voice was warm, full of longing, and guilt twisted in Emily's chest. She told him she missed him. Her words true. Even as her mind raced with secrets and questions she was not ready to answer. Before bed, Emily placed the silver key on her nightstand. It gleamed in the low light, a quiet mystery still unsolved. And as she slipped under her covers, she realized that sometimes the unknown is as tempting and as dangerous as desire itself. Jason returned late on a Thursday evening, his arrival unexpected. He had finished his business trip a day early and wanted to surprise Emily. She was in the middle of a bath when she heard the jingle of keys and the familiar sound of the front door. Heart skipping a beat, she quickly wrapped herself in a soft white towel and hurried out to greet him. Jason stood in the hallway, suitcase at his feet. He looked travel-weary but handsome, his light blue shirt unbuttoned at the throat, revealing a trace of his toned chest. His hair was tousled from the wind, his blue eyes tired yet bright as he dropped his bag and smiled at her. "Missed you," he murmured, pulling her into a strong embrace. Emily melted against him, the scent of his cologne and the security of his arms stirring something deep and bittersweet within her. As Jason held her, Emily's mind was a swirl of emotions. Relief, affection, but also guilt. She clung to him a little longer, hoping he could not feel the tremor in her body. She led him to the living room, offering tea and asking about his trip, her voice light, carefully steady. They talked late into the night. Jason recounted stories from his meetings, funny moments from airports and hotel bars, while Emily listened and laughed, all the while fighting the urge to confess everything. She wore a silky navy nightgown, the fabric soft against her skin, draping over her figure and hinting at the lace lingerie beneath. Light blue, matching the nightgown, the bra enhancing the gentle curve of her breasts, the panties hugging her hips. She wanted to feel beautiful for Jason, but her heart ached with conflicting loyalties. The next morning, Emily dressed with more care than usual. A fitted white blouse tucked into a blush pink skirt, sheer nude stockings accentuating her legs, and her favorite pastel yellow lace set underneath. Her hair was styled in loose waves, makeup natural but radiant. She felt a desperate need to reclaim her normal life, to be the wife Jason believed her to be. Over breakfast, Jason studied her. "You're quiet today," he said, brow furrowing in concern. "Just tired," Emily replied softly, forcing a smile. That day at work, Emily felt Jason's presence in every thought. She jumped at messages, worried he might notice something amiss. Jennifer, ever the observer, stopped by her desk in a sky blue wrap dress, her figure as dazzling as ever. "Everything okay?" she asked gently. Emily hesitated, almost spilling her secret, but swallowed the confession. "Just work stress," she lied. That evening, Jason suggested they go out for dinner, just the two of them, like old times. Emily agreed, grateful for the normalcy. She wore a little black dress, simple but stunning, with a plunging back that revealed a hint of the red lace bra she wore underneath. Her matching panties were cut high, accentuating her firm, round bottom. She watched Jason as he shaved and dressed. Navy blazer, crisp white shirt, dark jeans. He was as attractive as ever, his athletic build and clean lines making her pulse quicken. At dinner, the conversation drifted from light to serious. Jason reached across the table, taking her hand in his. Are you happy?" he asked quietly. Emily's heart skipped. "Of course I am," she replied, voice wavering. Why would you ask? Jason's eyes searched hers. You just feel distant. Is there something I should know? The question hung in the air, heavy and sharp. Emily felt her throat close. She remembered Alex's touch, the secret messages, the silver key still sitting on her nightstand. She wanted to tell Jason everything and nothing at once. Before she could answer, Jason squeezed her hand. I love you, Emily. Whatever it is, we can handle it. Just don't keep secrets from me. They walked home in silence, Emily's mind spinning. The city lights were blurry through the tears she refused to let fall. Back in the apartment, Jason pulled her gently into his arms, kissing her hair. Let's just be together tonight. No worries, no past, just us. They moved to the bedroom, Emily's heart pounding with longing and fear. Jason's hands were gentle but sure, unzipping her dress and tracing her spine with slow, loving touches. Emily's breath shuddered as his lips pressed to her shoulder, his hands cupping her waist, then her breasts, the red lace of a bra warm beneath his fingers. He eased her onto the bed, their bodies fitting together in a way that felt both familiar and desperately new. Jason's kisses traveled from her lips to her neck, to the hollow of her throat, his touch careful and loving. Emily responded in kind, her hands mapping the lines of his body, wanting to lose herself in the comfort and safety of her husband's embrace. As they came together, Emily's mind spun with memories and new sensations, her heart aching with the weight of what she was hiding, even as her body clung to Jason's with a fierce and desperate need. Afterward, they lay tangled together, Jason's hands stroking her hair. I missed this, he whispered. I missed you. Emily blinked back tears, unsure how to answer. Was this her truth? Was this what she wanted? The conflict inside her grew sharper, between desire and loyalty, excitement and stability. The next morning, as Emily dressed, she caught Jason looking at her strangely. Did you lose weight while I was gone? He'd asked. Emily shook her head, heart thumping. Maybe a little. I tried a new yoga class. He nodded, but his gaze lingered. Was he suspicious, or just seeing her with new eyes? At work, Emily found a note slipped under her keyboard. Secrets have a way of coming out. Be careful. She looked around, her heart in her throat. Jennifer was at her desk, typing. Alex was nowhere to be seen. Was it a threat? A warning? Or just her own conscience haunting her? The day felt endless. Every phone call, every glance seemed loaded with unspoken meaning. At home, Jason was quieter, but attentive, making dinner, pouring wine, touching her shoulder as she passed. Emily felt the love between them, but also the growing tension, the sense that something was about to break. As she lay in bed that night, Jason sleeping beside her, Emily stared at the ceiling, torn between fear and longing, guilt and hope. The conflict inside her felt unsustainable. Something would have to give, and she wondered, not for the first time, what secrets the next day would bring. Emily awoke before dawn, the sky outside their window still dark, the world holding its breath between night and morning. She lay quietly, watching Jason sleep, his features relaxed and peaceful in the half-light. The warmth of his body, the familiarity of his arm draped over her waist, both comforted and unsettled her. Her mind churned with the events of the past days. Alex's touch, the mysterious key, the warnings, and the weight of secrets she could no longer ignore. She slipped out of bed, pulling on a soft cream robe over her pale blue nightgown. In the bathroom mirror, she studied her reflection, her golden hair slightly tousled, her eyes clearer than they had been in weeks. For the first time in a long while, Emily allowed herself to really look at the woman she had become. A woman balancing longing and loyalty, secrecy and self-respect. The silver key still lay on her nightstand. Emily picked it up, feeling its cool weight in her palm. The mysterious note, the strange mailbox. What had it meant? Was it a threat? Or just someone's odd way of reaching out? She would never know unless she searched for answers. Jason woke to the smell of coffee brewing. He padded into the kitchen, boxers slung low on his hips, hair rumpled, eyes soft. "Couldn't sleep?" he asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind. Emily leaned into his embrace, closing her eyes for a moment, just thinking. He kissed her neck. "Everything okay?" She hesitated, then shook her head slightly. "I think I need to figure out what I want," she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Jason held her a little tighter. "Whatever it is, Em, I want you to be happy, even if that means things change." His words, quiet and honest, landed gently. Emily turned to face him, her hands resting on his chest. "I love you, Jason," she said. "But I need to understand myself before I can be the wife you deserve." He nodded, sadness flickering in his eyes, but also something like relief. They stood like that for a long time, neither speaking, just feeling the truth between them. Later, after Jason had left for a morning run, Emily sat at her small desk with the silver key and the note. She dialed Alex's number, her fingers trembling a little. He answered on the second ring, his voice still rough from sleep. "Emily? Hi, I just wanted to say thank you for everything, but I think I need some space. I'm not sure who left me that key or that note, but I think I need to stop hiding. From everyone, even myself." Alex was quiet for a moment. "I understand," he said softly. "I hope you find what you're looking for." "Me too," Emily replied, her lips curving in a sad but sincere smile. She ended the call, feeling a strange sense of peace. The rush and secrecy of her affair, the electric thrill, had given way to something deeper, a desire to know herself, not just as someone's wife or lover, but as her own person. That afternoon, Jennifer stopped by for coffee. She wore a simple white t-shirt and faded jeans, her hair pulled up in a loose ponytail. Yet she was radiant as ever, her confidence shining through. Emily poured them coffee, the two friends settling onto the sofa as sunlight warmed the living room. Jennifer eyed Emily curiously. "You seem different," she observed. "Lighter?" Emily laughed softly, tucking her hair behind her ear. "Maybe I am. I realized I've been living for everyone else. Trying to please Jason, getting lost in the excitement with Alex, even trying to live up to your confidence. I think it's time I learned how to be happy on my own." Jennifer grinned. "That's the spirit. Life's too short for regrets." They chatted about work, their plans for the summer, dreams that had nothing to do with men or secrets. Emily felt the knot of anxiety in her chest loosening, replaced by a cautious optimism. That evening, Emily walked alone by the river, wearing a pale green sundress that fluttered in the gentle breeze. She felt beautiful, her skin glowing, her hair shining gold in the late sunlight. For the first time in days, she did not check her phone for messages from Alex or worry about what Jason was thinking. She simply breathed, felt the cool air on her arms, the rhythm of her own heartbeat. A young man jogging past glanced at her with a smile, and Emily smiled back. Friendly, open, nothing more. She felt the warmth of being noticed, but also the satisfaction of knowing she did not need anyone's attention to feel whole. The memory of Jason's touch, Alex's kisses, the rush of secret notes, all of it lingered, but none of it defined her. Emily walked with her head high, savoring the soft freedom of the evening. Back home, she put the silver key and the note away in a drawer, a small souvenir from a time of confusion and awakening. Maybe one day she would find out who had left them. Or maybe it did not matter anymore. The real mystery, she realized, had been herself. In the days that followed, Emily and Jason talked openly, sometimes painfully, but always honestly. They agreed to give each other space, to figure out what they wanted without rushing. There were no dramatic fights or tearful goodbyes, just a quiet understanding that love, real love, sometimes means letting go. Emily filled her days with work, friends, and new experiences. She took a painting class, joined Jennifer for yoga, explored the city's art galleries and quiet parks. Slowly, she felt herself returning, not to the woman she had been, but to someone new, someone stronger, more curious, more alive. And when she looked in the mirror at night, Emily smiled, not with guilt or regret, but with hope for whatever the next chapter might bring.